of the Ghana Revenue Administration Act 2016, Act 915. Mr. Owusu-Amoah explained that the prosecution of tax defaulting businesses was one of the strategies adopted by the authority to promote tax compliance and enforcement. He was speaking during a meeting with editors of the various media organizations in Accra. As at the end of September this year, Mr. Owusu-Amoah said the GRA had collected 51.6 billion Ghana cedis as against a target of 52 billion Ghana cedis. He added that GRA fell short of the target by 466 million Ghana cedis, and the performance represents nominal growth rate of 29.0% over same period compared to last year's collection of 26%. The authority, he said, was implementing a number of tax policy initiatives, including taxpayers portal, electronic VAT invoicing, electronic auction, the electronic tax clearance certificate to boost revenue generation this year. He stated that taxpayers portal was an online self-service system which allows taxpayers to file returns, initiate payment and access other tax-related services such as tax clearance certificates, applying for tax reliefs, withholding tax exemptions, refund and update of taxpayers' information. The Commissioner General noted that the electronic VAT invoicing was introduced to eliminate invoice cloning, carding and non-issuance of invoices and other irregularities which were affecting domestic tax performance. Ghana's permanent representative to the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, Mrs. Anita Ejay Mashi, will represent Ghana on the ICAO Council for a three-year term following Ghana's election to ICAO Council. Now, the election, which took place at the ongoing 41st ICAO Triennial Assembly in Montreal, Canada, saw Ghana receive overwhelming majority vote from the member state in a highly contested race. Ghana, together with 8 African member states, will represent Africa on ICAO's 36-member council. The ICAO Council is a permanent body of the organization responsible to the Assembly and composed of 36 member states elected by Assembly for 3-year term. Mrs. Ejay Mashi, who is representing Ghana on the ICAO Council, has served in the aviation industry for well over 3 decades, having started her career with the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority as the first female air traffic controller in the male-dominated profession, where she was the only woman among 50 men. If you just joined us, you're listening to Maritime and Port News. On international front, ocean carrier could be forced to mothball more eastbound Trans-Pacific U.S. West Coast loops and the vessels that operate them to stop the extraordinary hemorrhaging of container spot rate, which will have in a value in the past 4 weeks. Now, according to today's reading of the China-U.S. West Coast component of the Fritos Baltic Index, that's the FBX, the spot price for a 30-feet plank 20% this week to $2,361 compared with a typical premium rate a year ago of $20,000. Now, 2/3 decline since May. This has been. Now, ships are reported to be leaving Asia for the U.S. West Coast barely 3/4 full despite aggressive blanking by carriers. The spot rates are on track to fall through the $2,000 watershed next week. The sea capacity on the route rate could dip below pre-pandemic levels before the start of the contract season, which will severely hamper the line's negotiation position. Moreover, in the interim, BCO sitting on contract some 4 times higher than the spot market are said to be receiving temporarily rate reductions from carrier to keep their loyalty. In view of this, Zeneta's chief analyst Peter Sand called the rate collapse on the trade lane a dramatic one. A new global port tracker report released Friday by the National Retail Federation shows imports at the nation's major container port are expected to fall to their lowest level in early 2 years by the end of 2022, even as retail sales continue to grow. U.S. port covered by the tracker handled 2.26 million TEUs in August, the latest month for which final numbers are available. That was up 3.5% from July, but down 0.4% from August 2021. The figures projected for the remainder of the year are not nearly as rosy as expected. September imports are forecast to come at 3% less than a year ago, followed by a 9.4% year-over-year drop in October. Now, a 4.9% decline in November and a 6.1% decline in December. Imports in the first half of the year totaled 13.5 million TEUs, an astounding 5.5% increase compared to 2021's record-setting pace. However, the forecast for the remainder of the year would bring the second half to 12.5 million TEUs, down 4% year over year over the period. Now, still in 2022, it is expected to total 26 million TEUs, which would be up 0.7% from last year's annual record to 25.8 million TEUs by the end of 2022. On this note, to wrap up this morning's edition of Maritime and Port News, proudly sponsored by the Ghana Shippers Authority. They provide you with the best in all your shipping solutions. You can contact them at the Shippers House in Accra. My name is Nanisi Boateng, my producer, Kwikwa Bwaji. Have a great Maritime and Port Day.